The foundational investing rule, "You cannot make a good deal with a bad person," may sound straightforward at first. However, its true significance goes far beyond simple morality. In the world of investing, trust and integrity form the backbone of any successful partnership. Even the most promising opportunities can unravel if the people involved lack honesty or reliability. This rule reminds us that evaluating character is just as important as analyzing numbers or market trends. Sometimes, the warning signs are subtle, making it challenging to discern who is truly trustworthy. Ultimately, this principle serves as a crucial safeguard, helping investors avoid costly mistakes that stem from misplaced trust. At first glance, the quote may seem straightforward, offering simple wisdom for investors to follow. However, this surface-level interpretation can be misleading. By accepting such advice without deeper analysis, investors risk falling into an intellectual trap. The quote's apparent clarity may actually obscure underlying complexities or encourage overconfidence. It's important to question whether the message truly serves investors' best interests or if it simplifies the realities of the market. Recognizing these potential pitfalls can help investors avoid making decisions based solely on catchy phrases. Before delving into the complexities of this rule, it's important to understand why it has become a focal point for concern among investors. Over time, what was intended as a safeguard has been increasingly used in ways that disadvantage those it was meant to protect. In this investigation, we will uncover the mechanisms by which the rule is weaponized, exploring both its intended purpose and the unintended consequences that have emerged. By examining real-world examples and expert insights, we aim to reveal the hidden dangers lurking beneath its surface. Our plan is to methodically dissect how the rule operates, who benefits from its enforcement, and why investors should be wary of its implications. Through this process, we hope to shed light on the urgent need for greater transparency and reform. Many investors fall into the trap of equating a bad person with a cartoonish villain or an unlikable CEO, often influenced by personality traits and media portrayal. This myth persists because stories and headlines tend to exaggerate negative characteristics, painting individuals in stark, simplistic terms. However, real-world situations are rarely so black and white. The complexities of business decisions and leadership styles can be easily overshadowed by sensational narratives. As a result, investors may overlook important factors, focusing more on personal impressions than on objective analysis. Recognizing this bias is crucial for making informed decisions and understanding the true dynamics at play. Charisma and likability are often seen as desirable traits in CEOs, but relying on these qualities to assess leadership can be misleading. When boards and investors focus too heavily on a leader's personal appeal, they risk overlooking the actual performance and strategic decisions that drive shareholder value. Charismatic CEOs may excel at inspiring confidence, yet this does not always translate to effective management or long-term success. Judging leaders by surface-level traits can distract from more meaningful metrics, such as financial results, innovation, and organizational health. Ultimately, a CEO's true impact should be measured by tangible outcomes rather than personality alone. Popular perceptions often equate charisma with effective leadership, especially in the world of business. However, the reality can be quite different. Charismatic leaders, despite their ability to inspire and attract attention, may not always make the best decisions when it comes to managing company resources. In contrast, CEOs who maintain a low profile and avoid the spotlight can sometimes deliver exceptional results for shareholders. Their focus on fundamentals and disciplined approach to capital allocation often leads to sustainable growth. This contrast highlights the importance of looking beyond personality and public image when evaluating corporate leadership. In the world of investing, it's easy to be captivated by charismatic leaders and flashy public relations campaigns. However, focusing on personality and image can divert attention from the fundamental metrics that drive real value. The true indicators of a company's potential are found in its financial statements, growth strategies, and operational performance. Public relations may shape perception, but it rarely reflects the underlying health or prospects of a business. Investors who prioritize substance over style are better equipped to make informed decisions. By concentrating on measurable results and concrete actions, one can avoid the pitfalls of hype and speculation. Ultimately, long-term success in investing depends on diligent analysis, not persuasive personalities. Now, let's shift our focus to what truly defines a bad person in the context of investing. Rather than relying on surface-level impressions or personal biases, investors are encouraged to look deeper, examining the fundamental business practices and ethical standards of a company. This approach involves assessing factors such as transparency, governance, and long-term sustainability. By moving beyond superficial judgments, investors can make more informed decisions that align with both their financial goals and personal values. Ultimately, understanding the real criteria for evaluating companies helps to build a more responsible and resilient investment portfolio. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger's investment philosophy has undergone significant transformation over the years. Initially influenced by Ben Graham's cigar butt approach, they focused on undervalued companies with a few puffs of value left. However, as their experience grew, both Buffett and Munger recognized the limitations of this method. They shifted their attention toward businesses with enduring competitive advantages and exceptional management teams. This evolution marked a departure from simply seeking bargains to prioritizing the quality and integrity of those running the company. By valuing strong leadership and sustainable business models, they aimed for long-term growth rather than short-term gains. Their philosophy highlights the importance of understanding not just numbers, but the people and principles behind them. A bad person in the context of business is often characterized as a poor capital allocator. This means they fail to use company profits wisely, directing resources into ventures that do not generate adequate returns. Such individuals may overpay for acquisitions, leading to wasted capital and diminished shareholder value. They might also dilute shareholders by issuing excessive new shares, reducing the ownership stake of existing investors. Additionally, misaligned incentives can arise when compensation structures reward short-term gains over long-term stability. These practices collectively undermine the financial health and future prospects of the organization. In management, a good person is often defined by several key characteristics. Rationality is essential, as it enables leaders to make decisions based on logic and evidence rather than emotion or impulse. Alignment with shareholders ensures that management acts in the best interests of those who own the company, fostering trust and long-term value. Candor is another important trait, reflecting honesty and transparency in communication with stakeholders. Finally, disciplined capital allocation demonstrates a thoughtful approach to investing resources, prioritizing opportunities that maximize returns while minimizing unnecessary risk. Together, these qualities form the foundation of effective and ethical leadership in any organization. No matter how attractive a bargain price may seem, it cannot offset the consequences of poor management. Ineffective leadership often results in misguided decisions and a lack of strategic direction, which ultimately undermines a company's potential. One of the most damaging outcomes of bad management is poor capital allocation. When resources are invested in unproductive projects or squandered on unnecessary expenses, shareholder value steadily declines. Over time, even companies that were acquired at a discount can see their worth eroded if management fails to deploy capital wisely. This illustrates why strong leadership and prudent financial stewardship are essential for long-term success. A common pitfall in investing is the belief that one can outsmart the market. Many investors convince themselves that they are the exception to the rule, confident that they can spot hidden gems among undervalued stocks. However, this mindset often leads them into value traps, situations where stocks appear cheap but are actually weighed down by poor management and weak fundamentals. Instead of rebounding, these investments tend to stagnate or decline further. The allure of a bargain can cloud judgment, causing investors to overlook critical warning signs. Ultimately, the assumption of being uniquely skilled can result in costly mistakes and missed opportunities for genuine growth. Arrogance and overconfidence often cloud an investor's judgment, leading them to dismiss established rules and proven strategies. When individuals believe they possess superior insight or are immune to common pitfalls, they may take unnecessary risks or overlook warning signs. This mindset can result in repeated disappointments as investments fail to meet expectations. Losses accumulate when reality contradicts their assumptions, reinforcing the importance of humility and discipline in decision-making. By ignoring the rule, investors expose themselves to avoidable setbacks, highlighting the dangers of letting ego drive financial choices. The prudent investor understands that management quality is a crucial factor in evaluating any company. Rather than being swayed by charismatic personalities or persuasive presentations, they prioritize a thorough assessment of management's track record. This approach involves examining past decisions, consistency in performance, and the ability to navigate challenges. By treating management quality as a non-negotiable filter, investors can avoid common pitfalls and focus on organizations led by proven, reliable teams. Ultimately, this disciplined perspective helps safeguard investments and supports long-term success. Evaluating management effectiveness requires a careful examination of several key areas. Start by analyzing financial statements to assess profitability, growth, and stability, looking for consistent performance and prudent risk management. Next, consider the incentive structures in place, such as executive compensation and stock ownership, which can reveal whether management's interests align with those of shareholders. It's also important to review capital allocation decisions over time, including investments, acquisitions, and returns of capital to shareholders. By tracking these choices, you can determine if management is making decisions that create long-term value. Together, these practical steps provide a comprehensive framework for assessing the quality and reliability of a company's leadership. The main lesson is clear. Steering clear of value traps requires more than just analyzing numbers. Investors should focus on companies led by rational management teams whose interests align with those of shareholders. This approach helps ensure that decisions are made with long-term value in mind, reducing the risk of poor outcomes. By prioritizing strong leadership and sound governance, investors can create a safer and more effective investment strategy. Ultimately, careful attention to management quality is a crucial factor in achieving consistent success in the market. As we wrap up, it's important to remember that recognizing red flags in CEOs can be a crucial part of making informed investment decisions. Your experiences and insights are valuable, so consider sharing the warning signs you've encountered in your own research or professional life. By exchanging perspectives, we can all become more discerning investors. Looking ahead, there are many more topics to explore in the world of investment wisdom. If there are specific areas you'd like to see covered in future deep dives, your suggestions are always welcome. Together, we can continue to build a stronger foundation for smart investing.